Morning, everybody. Welcome from actually bright and sunny and blue sky and beautiful New Ross today. It is probably 16 to 18 degrees. It was foggy last night but beautiful and sunny this morning. There's old Whitey the cow having munch. And this morning is all about pumpkins. I had a pumpkin patch. Actually, I didn't plant a pumpkin this year. These were pumpkins that sprouted out of the compost bin. See the compost bin up there? They sprouted out, and I cut most of the plants away, and I took 3 and I just left them there and let them grow, and man, didn't they grow. Now, I'm going to do a little video now, and then I'm going to pull the pumpkins, and I'll count them up, see how many we got. There's a couple of weird ones. Now, a couple of the ones that I got, here's one here that grew in through the fence. I don't know if you can see that or not. Get my big head out of the way for the shadow. And that grew inside the fence. The stem's inside the fence, and the back end outside the fence. So he's going to be an odd one. Pumpkin vines are tough as anything, because I've had one here that grew outside the fence, and I said, there, now as that gets fat and healthy, that's going to tear the vine down and it won't last long. But look, that vine is bent right around that board, and that's, I don't know, it's a fair sized pumpkin, probably weighs 6-8 pounds maybe, might even be 10 pounds. I haven't lifted it yet, but that vine's tough and it held. I thought that was pretty amazing. Most of the vines are starting to die down, and I'm starting to get some mouse nibblings in on the bottom of the pumpkins. So I think it's time now. I'm going to pull these pumpkins, and then I'll put them up somewhere so they'll dry, and I think they're ripe enough that they'll continue ripening over the next week or two and ripen out. I'll take probably 2 and I'll cut it up. I like making pumpkin pie. It's probably one of my favorite pies. And I'll take pumpkin pie and I'll stew down enough pumpkin for probably 2 pies, and I'll make one right away, and then I'll freeze the rest and then make one over the winter. But I don't know how many I'm going to have here. I don't know. I guess we're going to go through and pull them, and then I'll count them up later. This one here that is sitting on the slide, I found him just as a little one hanging down below, so I picked him up and set him on the slide, and he continued to grow. The one up on the board here, I didn't put him on the board. He started growing on the board, and I just left him there. So he grew up sitting on top of the board. And then there's, well, I see another one hanging, off the bin in there. And there's a few more along the top here that are spread out a little of everywhere. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go get my clippers, and I'll come out and I'll cut these pumpkins out, and I'll line them up, and then we'll do a pumpkin count. We'll do a pumpkin count and see how many pumpkins we got. I don't know. I'm guessing 15 or 20, but I guess we'll wait and see. So I'll post, in addition to this one, I'll probably blend it all into one video. And that's the pumpkin patch. Well, look at there. There's all my pumpkins I pulled out of the pumpkin piece, and done better than what I thought. I think I count 28 pumpkins. Now, thank Mother Nature for those ones. Like I said, those were ones that I didn't plant. They just grew wild in the compost bin, and I cut most of the plants out and I let 3 plants grow. 3, maybe 4 plants in there. I'm not really sure. And I got 28 pumpkins off it. Now, I think it was time to pick them. Most of them were mature. I'll get my shadow out of the way. Most of them were mature. I find most of the ones with the orange growing onto them, and they have nice dark stems, that those will ripen out on their own after that. Only one that I seen in here still had yellow onto him. Now he probably won't keep, he'll rot. But all the rest look like they're darkened out fairly good. Most of them have quite a bit of orange on them. The stem is dark, so I think those will ripen the rest away on their own quite easy. You see there's a few little fellas in there doing a little nibbling, and well, they got to eat too, so that doesn't really bother me. That's probably the worst one. I get my big pumpkin head out of the way. That's probably the worst one nibbled out of the bunch, but oh well. A few little fellas, they got to have a nibble. Now the couple of ones that were interest were this one that grew up against a board, and he actually grew with a big dent in him right along there, and another dent on this side where he was growing laying on a board. And now this one was the one that I had to pry out from between the fence. I actually had to pry a board off to get him, and he was kind of a odd looking thing. He grew with a stem in the one side inside the fence, and the rest of them grew outside the fence. And I seen him growing there, and I just let him grow, see what would happen. And he had kind of a neat looking thing. I don't know what kind of face I'll carve him into, but he'll be something. Kind of an odd looking duck. And that is thanks to Mother Nature and her just in there growing and giving her. That's my pumpkin harvest. Oh, what fun days. Have a great one, everybody. Enjoy the day.